Okay, okay, let's go. Hello. Let's get started. Okay, so welcome to my English tour of Nobeyama Radio Observatory. So this is a world that was created recently by some members of Virtual Space Program, or VSP for shorts. For those of you who don't know, VSP is a Japanese VR space enthusiast community. It has a few different areas of interest, principally rocketry, satellites, astronomy, aviation, physics, those things. My main area of interest is astronomy. Not astronomy. My main area of interest is orbital rocketry, not astronomy, but I will do the best I can with the content in this astronomy-oriented world. And with those areas of interest, they do a lot of like world creation tours, such as what I'm doing now, presentations, social events. They also do things at like conferences and other events in real life. They actually did something to that effect yesterday, which is really awesome. And VSP doesn't have too many English language activities at present, but some such activities do exist. As you can probably imagine, I have been responsible for a non-trivial portion of those activities. So as for me, I am a VSP member, and I have been interested in doing a bunch of things to share VSP's creations with English speakers. So like I'm doing this. I was VSP's I did a bunch of events for VSP at the last VCAT, so you might know me for that. And that is also why I have this avatar. And let's see, I've also done a lot of work to revise the English translations in the VR Space Museum Cosmoria. So if you know about that museum and haven't looked at it in a while, go have a look. It's the translations are new and improved. Yeah, for the English-speaking members of the audience, I should probably make it clear that my etiquette expectations are probably somewhat stricter than the expectations of most English VR event organizers. So a few things I should make note of. One, if I'm in the middle of explaining something, please hold your questions until I ask for questions. I'll do my best to make time for those. Two, if you need to have some side conversation, please go far away from the main tour group to do it. Three, do not push buttons without my permission. That will cause severe problems. I have directed the staff to immediately remove anyone who pushes buttons without permission. So, yes. And also, if you go to a Japanese VSP event, these are probably expectations you will also need to follow there. Another disclaimer I should probably bring up, English language sources about this observatory are often outdated or lacking in detail. I did the best I could to cross-check with Japanese sources, but there may be some errors with certain details because of this. And Cat Love will be streaming this, as you can see the live stream camera there, I think. So if you are going to say unhinged things, do not say unhinged things next to them. Got it? Great. Okay. Let's begin. Follow me. Okay. Yes. Oh, careful. There's the live stream camera there. Okay. So this is the credits board. As you can see, a bunch of people worked on this, and this is what it came together to be. So, yes. And here is the main promotional poster for the world. As you can see, there's the Fox project director, who is the Fox. Good Fox. Yes. And there's the antenna in the background. Yes. Very cute. And here are two VSP promotional posters. This one is in English. This one is in English. You can probably guess who wrote the English text on this. So it's like, yeah, VSP doesn't have too many English-speaking members that are active or too many English language activities, but you are welcome here. I think I speak for all of us when I say that. Yes. And then here is the first telescope that we will be looking at today. The diameter of this telescope is 10 meters. So I guess before I go into the details about this specific system, I should give some overview of radio astronomy in general. So what does radio astronomy do? Overall, like in the simplest terms, radio astronomy is like detecting and imaging using radio frequency signals from space. And the advantages of using radio frequency signals is that you can use them to detect like phenomena that are very like low energy and like which wouldn't be detectable with higher energy forms of radiation like infrared, visible, or ultraviolet light. So, for instance, you can detect cold gas in the interstellar medium because what's happening is that molecules have different types of energy level changes, and the transitions between those energy levels emit radiation in different categories. So, rotational energy level changes will emit in radio, microwave, or like far infrared. Vibration will emit in near infrared, and like electronic energy level changes will usually emit in ultraviolet or visible light. So when you have very low energy molecules from like clouds of gas in space or things like that, they're going to be emitting radio frequency signals from their changes in rotational states, which are like the lowest energy sort of energy level changes. And also, these signals are detectable during daylight and under cloudy conditions, unlike visible light, which, as you can see, you can't really see any stars right now in visible light, but you can observe phenomena from them using radio signals. Okay. And then with that, it's a very powerful tool for studying things like star formation, phenomena in the galactic center or black holes, and the chemical composition of the interstellar medium, because those involve a lot of these low energy molecules out in space. And then as for the antennas, larger is usually better because you can pick up more signal and focus them towards the detector. So if you have a larger primary reflector, you can collect more signal. It's easier to get an adequate signal to noise ratio. And then there are two main approaches to building a radio telescope system. You have a single dish system like that big one back there, which is like just one dish that collects signals and converts them into images or whatever other data may be desired. And then you also have another approach which uses multiple antennas that have their signals combined together using mathematical processing methods that I am not qualified to comment on. But yeah, that's what these smaller like 10-meter antennas are. And that can get you resolution comparable to a much larger single dish antenna. There's also some overlap between radio astronomy and satellite communications because like if you have a large antenna and you have the transmitters and receivers to be used for satellite communication, those have to be able to collect very faint signals from satellites. So then they can also collect signals from various other things in space and use those for like radio astronomy purposes. The NASA Deep Space Network antennas, for instance, can be used that way, and some of those antennas are huge, like 70 meters. The one behind me is only 45. But as far as I'm aware, the antennas here don't have the transmitters or signal processors necessary for satellite communication. I will also briefly discuss the location. The location here is at a high altitude of 1,300 meters above sea level, which reduces atmospheric interference, especially from water vapor. So one interesting thing is that, I guess, if you have a telescope and you have water vapor in the air in front of the telescope, then that's going to attenuate the radio signals that are being picked up. And so it's sort like microwave ovens are sort of the opposite of this effect because you have your microwave oven, you put a sample in it, and the sample gets heated up because it gets blasted with radio waves that then increase the rotational energy level of the water molecules in the microwave. So actually, this is why microwave ovens don't work on ice either, because the rotation of the water molecules in ice is inhibited by the crystal structure. But anyways, it's like you have the same problem where the signal is being absorbed if you have a lot of water vapor in front of the detector. So if you just put your telescopes at higher altitude, less water vapor interfering with your science. Yay. This location is also relatively isolated from radio interference generated from humans. I believe this place is about 150 kilometers away from Tokyo. It's not too close to any heavily urbanized areas. And also, this is important because radio communications from like cell phones, Wi-Fi, satellites, etc., can often overlap with the observation frequencies of this observatory. So before I continue talking about other things, does anyone have any questions? If you do, ask away. You would need a lot of cereal, but yes. Hypothetically, yes. The laws of physics would not prevent you from doing that. Other questions? Okay then. I guess we can talk a bit more about this here antenna. This antenna is part of the Nobeyama millimeter array, which it began operations in 1982. Most of the antennas were retired in, I believe, 2010. Antenna F, which is that way, was used for something later up to, I think, a few years ago, but it was hard to pin down any specific details on it. So these antennas, or these telescopes, they're used to observe radio frequency signals in the range of 80 to 230 gigahertz frequency. Or in other words, that translates to 3.8 to 1.3 millimeters wavelength, hence the name millimeter array, because it's observing millimeter wavelength signals. And also to put into context the like low energy of the phenomena that are being absorbed, that corresponds to 32 to 92 joules per mole of photons, which is much lower than the 170,000 to 290,000 170,000 to 290,000 joules per mole of like visible light photons. So it's about 10,000 times lower energy. And okay. This system with all of these antennas together can obtain a maximum angular resolution of 0.0003 degrees, which is I don't have the knowledge to put that into context either, but that is it's something. And if you have all these together, apparently you can get performance equivalent to a 600 meter single dish antenna, which is gigantic. Again, the one behind me, the big one, is only 45 meters. Okay, if you look at the antenna emplacement a bit more carefully, you can see, well, there's this box here. Let's see. Wait for everyone to move around to, okay. There's this box with wires going from the telescope into the box. And I guess, and that's for like power, communications, those things, because these telescopes can be moved around between places. Like you see these tracks, We'll see how this works in a bit more detail, but these tracks. And then we also have this very long track back here, which is used for moving the telescopes around between these emplacements. And yes, the train is over there. We'll look at the train soon. But yeah, have a good look at the antenna. It's a quite detailed model. Like there's the ladder, there's a support structure behind the dish, lights. I say this a lot when I talk about VSP, but like when they make stuff, the attention to detail is there is a lot of attention to detail. Okay, so you can also see like even these plaques that are on the telescopes, which are again specific details. Pretty awesome. Okay. Questions? Sorry if I'm moving around a bit too much, but anyone have questions? If you need to have side conversations, please have them far away from the main tour group. Thanks. Okay, questions?
So I joined this like halfway through the tour. What are these dishes used for specifically?
They're
What do they
used.
connect to?
Well, what do you mean by what do they connect to?
Like, are they connected to, like, say for example, the dish in space, right? Or like that's what I mean.
Oh, I see what you mean. So these aren't used for like satellite communications. These are used for measuring like or these are used for analyzing radio emissions from just objects in space because objects in space emit radio signals that can be detected by things like this. There are similar antennas that can be used for satellite communications. For instance, like NASA has some really big ones that are quite famous. There are also some in Japan at, say, the Uchinura or Tanegashima Space Center. But in this case, these don't have the equipment to transmit or receive like data for satellites. Okay.
Gotcha.
Other questions? Okay. The next thing, if you walk over here a bit. Okay, where is the camera? Okay. So this is called a radio heliograph. And before I bore you with the details, oh, careful, the live stream camera is right there. Okay, before I bore you with the details, allow me to show you this.
Why is it nighttime now?
So wait for the sun to come up. Wait for the sun to come up.
That's great. Don't push any buttons. Okay, what's going to?
Wait for the sun to look at the antenna now. Look at the antenna.
Oh, the antenna. Right.
So then as the sun moves across the sky, this thing actually tracks the sun. So another example of like very impressive attention to detail in how this all got built. So while you enjoy this thing moving around, I can speak a bit more about what this does. So this thing, it's an 80 centimeter diameter antenna, which is very small compared to the other ones here. And there is a long line of them. If you look over the fence that way, there's a long line of those. 84 in total. So they're spread over, I think, 220 meters in one direction, 490 meters in another direction. And again, it's the same sort of thing as the millimeter array antennas, where if you have a bunch of these working together and you combine their data with fancy math, you can get very high resolution. Apparently, this is comparable to a single dish antenna with a diameter of 490 meters. So this one measures radio waves at frequencies of 17 and 34 gigahertz, and that's lower energy than the blast antenna. But let's see. This was in operation from 1992 to 2020, and it was used for monitoring like sunspots, solar flares, similar things happening on the sun. And again, you've got a big advantage from the fact that this thing's ability to observe the sun is not affected by clouds. It is affected by when it's nighttime. You can't exactly see through the earth with this thing, but this thing can see through clouds, at least reasonably well. Yes, and then there are also radio polarimeters at Nobeyama, which measure the polarization of radio waves from the sun. They're still in operation. It doesn't seem like they're modeled in this world, but those still exist, and those are still doing science with other things related to the sun. I must also point out that this thing has returned home now that it is nighttime. So It is not attempting to look at the sun through the Earth. Awesome, right? Okay. Questions?
Yeah. Is that thing can be used in? You can use only for sun?
Well, hypothetically, you could use it for looking at anything else, but it is designed, I suppose, to look at the sun more than anything else. Because, like, depending on what you look at, you have different design considerations in terms of, like, what frequencies you want to be able to observe at, and then how large your primary reflector needs to be, things like that.
Thank you.
Okay. Then, oh, some more people are joining. That's neat. I will see what's the say the time is. Oh, the sun's going to come up soon. Let's just wait for the sun to come up again. Yay.
There we go.
Oh.
Okay. I am just going to freeze time here so that it doesn't turn dark while we're looking at other stuff. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next thing now. Where do we go? Okay. 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 This is Nobeyama millimeter array antenna F. You will notice that it has a different model from antenna E. So it was not simply copy-pasted. Just as in real life, this is apparently not copy-pasted. Yeah, as I mentioned before, this antenna was used for a bit later than the other antennas in this array, which, by the way, all of these antennas are still here, even though both the millimeter array and the radio heliographs, they're retired, but they're still in existence. You can actually go to this site in real life and look at these things. The project director sent me a big photo album of photos from, I think, last year, which show all of these things still there. So pretty cool stuff. You can go see it if you go to Japan and you have the time for it, and you're interested, of course. But yeah, again, we see antenna. It's built differently from the other one, but it has the same 10 meter parabolic reflector, and then some ladders, plaques, same sort of telescope and placement structure that I mentioned that we'll talk about in a bit. Questions about that? Okay. In that case, okay. You'll notice that there were some... Okay, actually... Here. Okay, everyone come here. Okay. You will notice that there were some posters here explaining the contents, which if I'm not mistaken, those are a temporary exhibit here, so have a good look at them while you can. And also some things over there that are tributes to a certain VTuber. Her name is Hoshimi Madoka, and she's a VTuber that does astronomy-related stuff, I believe. I unfortunately have not watched her too much in the past because I don't speak Japanese, and I also don't understand enough astronomy stuff to be able to piece together the streams, like piece together what's going on stream from the context. But yeah, that's who that is. I hear she's a pretty cool figure in the faith community, and yeah. So it is very cool that she has there's some stuff from her here. There are also some other pictures from the observatory over on that side, and one thing I'd like to point out now is if I can... Okay, wait. Let me respawn Respawn Foxpad. Set time midnight. Okay. Gather around here. Okay. Were any of you at the VSP VCAT booth last December?
Yeah, a little bit.
Anyone
I
else?
don't remember.
Kind of.
Okay. So, as you may remember, we had a planetarium system there. VSP really likes its planetariums. So, if I can turn this on, all constellation lines on.
Ooh.
There are a lot of other labels that you can turn on and off, but I'm not going to turn that on because I think that might be a bit overstimulating. And again, these move in a realistic fashion. Because, yes. VSP really loves its planetariums. I believe Cat Love, who is doing the live stream right now, made a pretty cool planetarium world too, which I featured in my VCAT tour. But this planetarium system, I believe it was made by Akino Mizuki, who did a lot of work on the VSP VCAT booth last time. So, yes, we are very grateful for all of their work that made the VSP VCAT project possible. Okay, I will freeze time again and set this to a reasonable hour.
Ow.
So that's the planetarium system. And then, let's walk over a bit more. Okay, let's wait for everyone to gather around. Is there anyone we're waiting for? Okay. So, this is the train that's used for moving the telescopes around. You see, this is the telescope emplacements. And then if you look in the middle of this train, there are 2 tracks on it, and this court that can roll on and off. And if I go in here and turn on, don't come in here with me. It's going to be very crowded if you do that. I go in here and push this button, then you can actually get the telescope on top of the train. And this is, I hope this provides some context about how these telescopes get moved around, because you have this court here, you just slide it off onto here with the court, and then the telescope sits down onto these three pedestals on the telescope emplacements. And then you have the box for the power and communication wires. And that's how that all works. Oh wait,
one detail that I have to mention here. Buttons here seems to be local.
Buttons local. Okay, everyone go in and push that button. It should be just the red button. Go in and push it.
What does this button do?
You are allowed to push this button, and you will not be punished for it.
That.
Push it, and it should be green.
Wait,
No, this one here. This one here.
Doesn't seem like anything happened for me.
Look outside.
And
You see this?
Yeah, you could fit something that big on a train that small?
Oh.
Yeah, well, I will also point out that, like, yeah, these tracks here, you see these tracks? They're really wide. These tracks here are, they're not your normal 4 foot 8.5 inch or 1,435 millimeter track. They're also not your normal Japanese 1,067 millimeter narrow gauge track. These are big tracks for big payloads that you absolutely do not want tipping over because they have a lot of mass on the top. So yeah, that's that, and then hopefully, hopefully everyone is getting a good look at the antenna now. and get a sense of how these are moving around. All right, questions?
Hi, Kimika.
Yes.
One second. What is this for? Is this for
What is-
snow?
What is this for? Yeah, I guess that's for.
This part.
Yeah, this port is for, like, presumably it's for removing snow or other debris from the tracks, because, like, not just snow, let's say you have some rocks on the tracks. You don't want your rocks going under the wheels and getting, like, crushed and damaging the wheels and damaging the tracks and damaging everything else. So these just sweep off that stuff from the track so it doesn't get in the way.
Thank you, Kimika.
Or at least that would be the case if those are intended for the same purpose as they would be on any normal train, which, yeah, I mean, they're a standard enough feature to have those sorts of plows or brushes on normal trains too. It's more important on either trains that are fast or trains carrying really heavy payloads because, yeah.
Telescopes must be hit.
Yeah, I believe... Do I have the map of the telescope written down somewhere? It's like... I should. Do I have the map of the telescope written down? No, I don't. But I think that these telescopes, they're like... somewhere between 10 and 30 tons.
Wow.
I should have had this written down on my cue sheet, but yeah, these are pretty heavy.
30 tons?
Something like that, yeah.
So, but
Wow.
where these telescopes building then? If these things are moving that?
Hmm?
So, I mean,
sorry,
is that thing moving telescope? So, that telescope building somewhere first?
Well, I don't actually know the details about how these were assembled. I assume they were... I mean, I assume these would probably be small enough that you could build them somewhere, then move them around with a crane, but, like, I don't want to speculate and say anything incorrect, so... Yeah. Okay. Other questions? Okay. In that case, let's move on to the next thing, which... Okay, we'll start here and then move back a bit. Okay. Wait for everyone to gather around again. So... Okay, everyone here? Great. So this is the big 45-meter telescope. And as I hope VR is giving you a good sense of how big it is. These things are big. I think one of the most amazing things about all of the worlds that the VSP community has made is that it really gives you a sense of how big space-related things are that you don't get from the photos. But yeah, so this telescope, this has been in operation since 1982. It's still in use. There have been a lot of modernizations over the years, so they've added like new detectors. They've added a system which can be used to remotely operate the telescope from anywhere in the world, which is the instruction guide for that, which I randomly stumbled on while doing research for this presentation, is actually quite informative. So, yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, there are multiple detectors in there, which you have reflectors inside the antenna that can be adjusted to direct the signals onto those different detectors. And let's see, the measurement frequencies for this antenna are like 1 to 150 gigahertz, so that's 30 meters to 2 millimeters wavelength, or 0.40 to 60 joules per mole of photons. Again, to provide some more context about the like low energy of the phenomena being observed. The maximum angular resolution of this antenna is 0.004 degrees, which is not as good as the millimeter array antennas, but it's still quite useful as a scientific tool. So there's one. Yes. Also, I should point out this sign. Please have a look at this sign. As you can see, foxes and humans are allowed. Foxes and humans are allowed to enter. Contrast this with the do not enter. Contrast this with the do not enter signs at the actual observatory. Yes. No danger. Entry okay. But before we go to look at the telescope closer up, there's some other cool stuff I should show. Follow me. Okay. So, if it's look at the telescope, don't look at me.
Oh, it
It's
works.
moving.
Don't look at me, look at the telescope.
Over there.
Oh.
Higher, higher.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. It rotates and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can hear the metal churning in my head.
Oh?
Yeah. So this is a big telescope. I think it's like several hundred tons. If I'm remembering right, 700 tons. This is a lot of stuff that's moving around right now.
Wow.
So
100 pounds?
Look at how
I think I don't have the number off the top of my head, but yeah.
Mhm.
So the antenna moves around. And let's see. When you have a big antenna moving around like this, you have to be really careful about maintaining the geometry of your reflectors, because you need a parabolic reflector where the focus of the parabola is precisely aligned onto the secondary reflector, so that all of your radio signals that are coming in get focused onto your detectors. But if you have the antenna deforming, then that causes problems. And when you have a big antenna moving around like this, it's going to deform differently depending on how it's oriented. This antenna has some sort of system which is used to control the used to regulate the deformation and keep it aligned and like not excessively deformed, no matter how it's oriented. I don't know the fine details of that, but that is a system that exists. Okay, so that's what there is to see here. Follow me.
Follow you.
Careful, don't go under the wheels. Bad things will happen if you go under the wheels.
No danger.
It looks dangerous.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks dangerous as long as you don't try to walk under it.
It's more dangerous if you go under a car.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Okay, so there are stairs here. You know what stairs are for?
Hi.
We're gonna go up.
Right.
Everyone go up. Everyone go up the stairs. Just follow the red line. And I'll wait at the back to make sure nobody gets lost, but just wait on the main reflector dish. It's huge. You won't miss it. Do not go in the teleporter.
So?
Follow the line. Everyone walk.
Go in the portal.
Where? Ah, that's worse.
Oh, yeah, okay, there. Oh, let's go.
Wow.
Oh.
Can't tell you how badly I want to skateboard on this.
Okay. Okay. So here is our telescope array. I mean, here is our main reflector dish, which is, as you can see, it is big. This is big. Now, if you walk to the edge, don't fall off.
and those are
Yeah.
all the satellite little dishes.
As you can see, there are a lot of you can see the whole thing from up here. You can see the Nobeyama millimeter array antennas. There are you can see the 4 other ones over there in the back, which that area is not directly accessible, but yes. And then
Wow.
you can also see, if you look that way, the other radio heliographs. There are a lot of them. There are like 84 of them total. That's a lot of hardware.
But why
Yeah,
so many?
I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know the answer.
The arrangement is so interesting.
Yeah, it is. Like, you have a bunch of them super densely packed together in the middle and then a bunch off to the sides. But, yeah, there's that. And then... This is the dish. And then there's a ladder up to the secondary reflector, which is climbable. So, let's not look at that yet. Let's do that after we take a group photo. But there is a ladder up to the secondary reflector, so you can see from up there too. And also, the last major thing I want to point out. Everyone come here. Don't fall in the hole. Do not fall in the hole. No, do not fall in the hole. If you fall in the hole, you will not be able to get back out. You will need to respawn and walk all the way back.
Oh no!
Okay.
Hold on, I can save them.
Okay. Okay. So while they're having fun with that, I suppose I will speak about what goes on inside the hole. So inside there, that's where the. Okay. So inside here, this is where the detectors are located. So you have the detectors. You have the detectors. You have you have the reflectors which direct signal towards the detectors. And you can also see the what else? One thing I noticed when I was reading the instruction manual. Should I wait for them to come out? I'll wait for them to come out.
You saved him? Ah.
Nezumi, have a seat. On my back.
Crane, thank you for conducting this rescue operation for us.
Rescue operation. I tried.
Okay, no more falling. No more falling in the hole, okay? No more falling in the hole. No more falling in the hole until I'm done explaining the stuff that's in the hole. Okay, so it's inside there. What you have is you have the detectors, where like all the radio waves from all this dish gets focused onto the detector, and the detector uses it to do science. Then you have the reflectors, which are used to direct signals onto the detectors. And then another little detail in there, which I notice is actually modeled, is the thing that blocks the radio signals from going through in order to protect the detectors from high intensity signals from satellites and such. Because I don't know, the detectors are very sensitive. You don't want to be blasting them with high intensity signals if you can avoid it. So there's actually a thing which you can move into the beam path to protect the detectors from that stuff, and that is actually modeled. So again, impressive attention to detail with everything. So that is all the stuff I had planned to say during this tour. I am pleasantly surprised to see that we are right at 45 minutes. So I am glad that this did not run horribly over time the way my tours sometimes do. But let's take a group photo. Group photos are very important here at VSP. Oh, yes. Yep, okay. So where should I put the cameras? Put the cameras. The detector hole needs to be in the background. Okay. This looks. And then the supports for the main. Okay, everyone, put your camera somewhere around here. And stand facing this way. In a bit, I'll let you know. I'll say a few words specifically for the people on the live stream at the end before we stop that. But yeah, just keep the live stream going for now. I'll let you know. I'll let you know when to stop it. Okay. Okay, everyone, look at the cameras. Okay. You know, this is actually my first time hosting an event for VSP where I can see everyone's avatars. Before this, I was on a 10 frame per second potato, so I was hosting events at VCAT at 10 frames per second. That was an experience. Okay, I'm gonna get another photo with the secondary reflector. Make sure that photo. Fine. Okay. Okay, then I'll take a few more zoomed in shots. This is group photos are very important, so this might take a while. Take as many photos as you'd like to. Yes, it is the most important part. Okay. Yay, okay. You may continue taking photos until everyone is done taking photos. Okay, is everyone done taking photos? All right. All right. Well, I'll just say some closing things. Oh, the radio polarimeter is on the helmet. Oh. Do you have the AWACS? Do you have the AWACS? Oh. Okay, well, as you can see, nice hat. Yeah, okay, so, see, we can go, actually, you know what, let's try going up up there. Yeah, this is the climbable ladder. The other ones aren't climbable. Okay, again, everyone else go up. It might be a bit cramped, but everyone go up. I think we can fit everyone. Okay. So, I know there probably isn't too much to see that you couldn't see from on the dish, but please appreciate your newfound perspective. You can, yeah. Yeah. While I'm here, while we're also here, does anyone have more questions about anything? All right. So. Hmm?
I mean, how terrible would that be if you fell in that hole and this thing turned on? Like, you start glowing green and growing antennas, or?
I don't think so. Here's the thing: radio waves aren't ionizing radiation. At most, they would probably cause your body to heat up. But like, I don't think the signals are anywhere near intense enough to do that. Like, you need pretty intense signals for that. If you need this giant detector to pick up stuff that goes into some super sensitive detector, it's like I don't think anything bad will happen if you're in the hole. Unless somebody puts like a microwave emitter directly above this thing and all of that would get focused into the hole. But like, I am not an expert on anything in the realm of electromagnetic waves other than what they do to molecules, but like that is my best guess as to what would happen if you were in the hole. But yeah, like radio waves aren't ionizing. They aren't sufficient to like excite electrons to higher electronic energy levels in the molecules. So they won't really do anything other than cause things to become hotter. Oh yeah, you're not going to have like a ton of DNA mutations from being exposed to radio waves from this thing.
So what you're telling me is if I fall in there, I'll become more attractive.
I don't know about that either. You would have more thermal energy.
Some people might be
Nice.
Okay. Other questions?
I have a question.
What? Yes, but
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna try putting a camera here and seeing if I can get any decent photos. Reset. Anchor here. Yeah. But what's your question?
What's inside portal that we avoided?
I think that just goes up to the main reflector dish. I just tell people not to go through teleporters when there's a stairway to go up because I want people to have the full experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone, look at the camera. It's at the ladder. At the ladder.
Oh.
All right. Can everyone? Not this up. Look carefully.
I don't know if I can get over here.
Okay.
Okay, I can.
Okay.
Yay.
Yay.
Did everyone have fun?
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
Alright, if everyone's taking photos, let's go back down. But,
I do have one small question.
Yeah, please.
okay, yeah, what is it? What is it?
When you were controlling
Oh.
to move the dish earlier, is that like the actual speed that it moves, or is that just sped up for, you know, convenience?
I don't actually know. What I do know is that moving telescopes is a very slow and careful operation, so it wouldn't surprise me if it's sped up, but I don't actually know if that's actual speed.
Okay. That makes sense.
It absolutely would not surprise me at all if it was sped up for user friendliness, but yeah. Okay, let's go back down to the main reflector.
Okay.
Don't fall.
Infinity
Don't be like me, don't
and
fall.
beyond.
Okay. I am
high of that.
what's the height of what?
Glad you can make it. This is the tail end of the event.
Probably like 15 to
Nice.
probably
Yeah,
like
I think
15 to
I'll
20
implement that
meters.
soon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
not much.
Okay.
No problem.
Everyone, so I am thinking about whether I want to tell everyone to jump in the place with the detectors, but I don't think there's enough space. So I'll just say the things to wrap up the event, and then we can you all can go in there and then be forced to respawn or copy an avatar with a flying utility. But
Oh my god. Okay.
yeah, it's a bit cramped in there, as you might be able to imagine. So, thank you all very much for coming to this event. This has been I promised the project director, I offered to the project director something like a month ago that I'd do an English tour when the world publicly released, and so here we are. I hope that this has been a good educational opportunity for all of you. I hope that you've learned something about the history of this particular facility or the science behind radio astronomy in general. I hope you have also learned something about why your microwave ovens cannot melt ice very efficiently. But yeah, I'm really glad to have all of you here. I hope that you will continue to support future VSP events. If you're interested in space, please join the VSP, or if you're interested in space or in just these events in general, please join the VSP group, VSP9377. There's also a Discord server and a Twitter. Twitter is VSP_VRC, so you should join all of those things. Stay tuned for future VSP stuff. If you, yes, this is the, you can click this thing to join the group. Yes, please move it out of the way of the live stream camera. Thank you. So yes, please join the group. You can join the group right here. What's the matter? Silver Sword? The Japanese events are usually people do not have translation tools on because most of the people in attendance are Japanese. VRCT is like it does something if you want to translate what people are saying. It's not the best for but it's not the best for translating things that other people are saying, but it does something. I will point out though that when VSP members do presentations, like educational presentations, the slides tend to be well designed enough that you can piece together what they're saying from English loanwords and the visuals on the sides. So yeah, there's that at least. And if I happen to be at a VSP event and you're in attendance, please do not hesitate to ask me for help with things, and I will do the best I can. Especially if it's related to like orbital rocketry, because I have the background knowledge to fill in the gaps on that stuff. But yeah, other questions? If not, well, thank you very much for joining my event. I guess that concludes everything other than the jumping in the detector array part of things. So before the rest of you go in, I'd just like to go in with the live stream camera and point out some things for the live stream. If the rest of you could wait here for like 1 minute, that would be great. Okay. Wait, follow me. Okay. Okay. Wait, everyone wait outside, please. Everyone wait outside, please. Everyone. Okay, wait, is the Cat Love, could we get the camera in here? All right. Come down. Okay. Oh. Here, these reflectors. These are used to direct the radio waves towards the detectors, which I assume are down here, although I cannot confirm for sure. And then this hexagon here, it's your hexagon, used to block radio signals in order to protect the detectors when they're not in use, or when this, oh, careful, the camera's there. When this is used to protect the detectors when the antenna is like either non-use or at a high elevation. So that concludes this tour. We can stop the live stream now. Thank you very much to ebigunso and Cat Love for their support with staffing this event, and Also, thank you to Prot-san for supporting this tour, right? Okay.